going?
Numasora. Going good.
It
How's
looks so
everybody
beautiful
feeling?
here.
I'm grounding under this beautiful tree. I figured I'm going on TikTok. I better ground while
Yeah,
I'm channeling because the energy's different on TikTok.
I know.
So,
It can be intense for sure.
okay.
Hi,
Just took
everyone.
out my gum. So we are going to talk a little bit about what's going on, but also we're going to tune into everybody and just kind of answer some questions.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. She said, I have COVID. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
Dichiara ritorno. Sciaraniari.
Hi,
Ooh,
everyone.
you'll be fine, darling. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Sending
Just
lots of
icky,
love. There's
icky.
lots of energy around for sure. I feel a lot of vibes around her.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
everyone. Michelle says she just got back from the beach. That sounds so amazing. I look like I just
Oh,
got back from the beach. I'm sunburnt. And I didn't go
I've
anywhere.
been wanting to go, but the traffic has been so bad that I just haven't been wanting to fight the traffic.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, you'll be fine, darling. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'm
sending
hearing
lots of
rest
love.
was really needed for you. Yeah.
Rest,
She was
hydrate.
overdoing it.
Mhm.
Sometimes this is what happens. Tina and I talk about this a lot. Sometimes when we don't take enough self-care, we get sick because our guides are like, okay, if you're not going to take time out to rest and take care of yourself, then we're going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Right?
I've been there several times. Or like my
Mhm.
technology will just stop working entirely.
Yeah.
Stop working entirely. Michelle's asking, how do you get live? So do you mean in general the ability to go live? So you have to have 1,000 followers. And then when you like at the bottom, like when you're clicking the little plus sign, like you're gonna make a TikTok, you just scroll over to live. Someone said they're preparing to do their first hand fasting ceremony on the 7th. That's awesome.
Awesome. Okay, I have a question here. My dog passed. Do they go to heaven? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They also
Absolutely.
visit. They stay with you. They visit often. Some choose to cross over, but energetically they're connected to both sides, so they stay with us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I feel people's pets all the time, so they're definitely
Mhm.
around.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They pop in to give love, but also they're still there to comfort you.
Mhm.
Yep.
They often
Hi.
join your spiritual
Welcome.
team. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
Helen.
Hi, Bobby. Hi, Esmeralda. How's everyone doing today? Do you guys have any questions? We're just kind of hanging out, answering questions, connecting. Let us know how you've been feeling.
Whatever your
Energy's been
questions
intense.
are, whether it's your abilities, whether it's about light language, whatever questions you want to know, just kind of jot them down. We're here to help. I have a question. Somebody says, what's Mystic Goddess, what's my bird noise? I don't understand what that means. I don't know if she's talking about a dialect.
That's kind of what I was feeling. Like I was feeling right
More
off
of
the
a
bat,
dialect?
I kind of felt like an avian being, but I didn't.
Yeah. They're saying that you're able to connect with the birds too, and just tuning into that dialect as well.
Absolutely.
You're a channeler. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone.
You just need a confirmation. Yes, you are channeling birds.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
They're very powerful. Hi, crafty teacher. How are you?
Okay, I have a question. Thoughts on CERN.
Okay.
Thoughts on CERN, and I will be completely honest.
Okay.
Deb might have more to say about this than I do.
Go ahead.
But I personally, it has been completely out of my awareness. It has not been something that I've been focusing on. And it was to the point where I was like, am I on another planet? Like it has not been in my awareness whatsoever. I fully believe that where your attention goes, your energy flows. And I just feel stay positive, stay focused on the things that you want to bring into your life, the energy that you want to bring in, and go with that. So that's my opinion on it. But it's not something that I've really fully even brought into my space, if that makes any sense.
So, no, I do not have other accounts. So somebody's following you and looks like me, it's not me. I have one account and I will not message you for readings, just so you know, it's not me. So my thought on CERN is we are choosing right now what direction and what life we want to experience. So if you want to get wrapped up in the CERN and the fear and the chaos, then that's the experience you're going to have. Mm-hmm. So it's your choice. They said that there's timelines that are collapsing. I know this is wild and it's very sci-fi. But to connect with portals is consciousness. And what they're doing is what my guides are, I've been asking my guides all kinds of questions with this, is it feels like it's going to actually create a ripple effect in the cosmos that's not going to be a good thing. However, it will be controllable. So people need to stop panicking and also listen to the people that are talking about CERN. Are they creating fear or are they creating more of a positive experience for you? It's your choice to decide what direction. Here's the good angel, the bad angel. Who do you want to listen to more? It's up to you. It's your choice. The beauty of coming here is it's free will to decide what we want to experience. So where your attention goes, the energy is going to flow to give you that experience. CERN was never in my awareness either until somebody asked me what CERN was. Then I looked it up and I'm like, okay, well, this isn't my timeline. It's not in my awareness because I don't want it in my awareness. I don't choose to experience that. Okay. So, we choose our experience here. So if you want to focus on the negativity, then that's your choice. It's up to you. But just remember that we're eternal and we come here to experience. So freaking just do what you want.
Right. You get to choose your experience, right? So there is no right or wrong. There's just what feels right to you, basically.
Yeah. See, other people say it wasn't in their awareness either. Yes, because there is a program being submitted out of fear right now. It's called a program. And they're trying to create fear again. So pay attention. These happen it comes in waves. You know why? Because we just had a massive collective shift. And that is why the programming of fear is being projected again. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we've been riding those massive waves of energy. So how's everybody feeling? Have you guys been feeling those waves of energy? Let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling. I know I had a few comments back up here, but you might have some on your side as well, Deb. But in the meanwhile, how's everybody feeling? The past couple of days, I had like massive energy shooting through my root and sacral, and it was just waves and waves. And then it went up to my solar heart, higher heart. And then just like really last night, I had really loud frequencies coming into my ears that I was trying to like siphon through. And even my kids were awake until like 1 a.m. and I was like, oh my gosh, you are definitely feeling this too. So,
everybody's been, somebody said I'm feeling kiltered. Someone says I feel amazing. It just depends on the person and their vibration and what needs to be clear. I'm going to be honest, been getting flip-flops in my stomach. My solar plexus is going through a huge shift. And I've been, food has been not friendly to me. So I've had to cut out a lot that is not resonant of me because of this massive shift. But other than that, it's been okay. I've just been riding the wave. I don't know about you guys, but just know that, we have to adjust to the new energy and we're going to be getting it in waves, just like Tina was saying. So you just have to listen to yourself. Okay. Listen to your body. How are you feeling? Okay.
Yeah.
I did have a question. Can you feel if I'm ready to be activated? You are ready to be activated when you choose to be activated. It's your choice. Okay, you don't have to be, and this is what gets me. I've activated people that have had no channeling experience to people that have had a ton of channeling experience, or, work with energy. So it's your choice. Okay.
Hmm.
However, just be aware that in the session, you will have to, we have to do a clearing beforehand. So we will be clearing out stuff. So when you make that choice, be prepared for a shift, because you will be shifting, because you're making a choice to say, okay, I'm ready to connect. In order to connect, we got to clear things out of the way in order for you to connect with your soul language. Okay.
And I think that's
But it's
important
just
to mention as well, is like,
mhm.
I feel like, and I know you say this often and I say it often too, but it's like,
Yeah.
maybe people don't hear it. So when you become activated with your soul language, whether it be by seeing an activator like Deb or myself, or through your own healing or whatever it is, it's important to know that you are going to go through waves of emotion, right? So
Yeah.
it as Deb's talking about this clearing, there has to be clearing to make space to turn these things on, to bring in new codes, to bring in new light, new dialects, things like that. So there will be an emotional stage, and that's not to scare anyone, but just knowing, like,
Yeah.
you're not crazy, but you are going to go through that, because as Deb said, you are going to shift. And that's not
Exactly.
just, it's not just like, boop, we turn the switch and nothing happens, right? Like, you will go through emotional waves as
Yeah.
well.
You will. Yeah. And along with the stages of light, there's stages that you go through. One is you're going to go through a self-healing that you've never experienced before.
Yeah.
You also will go through triggers, stuff that triggers you will, and emotions will start to come to the surface to be healed. Okay, so recognize your triggers, recognize that there are stages to it. So somebody says, I feel stuck in my abilities. You last said time to purge, but I feel like I have been purging. Okay, so if you're stuck in your abilities, how do you mean stuck? Are you actively using them on others? Because the only way you're stuck means that you're not using them. Okay, so Tina and I take the course on how to practice with using it. Okay, the more you use it, the more actively your abilities become. It's just like working out a muscle at the gym. I talk about this all the time. It
I
is a
say the
muscle.
exact same
Muscles
thing.
you have. Yeah. So it's a choice. Now, what I mean by if you feel stuck, like you're stagnant and you're not moving forward, then that's probably because you need a purge to make room for new knowledge and new abilities to formulate, to come online in a sense.
Right.
Okay, and also they're saying that stop saying you're stuck.
Right. That's
Stop
what I was
saying it
hearing, was
because
like,
you're
be
yeah,
mindful of the
you're
mind chatter, the self-thought,
right.
the words that you're using, the emotion that you're putting out. Because if you're constantly saying, I'm stuck, I'm blocked, I can't use this, I can't do this, I won't do this, it's not the same as it was, it's not this, that's what you're
Then it won't be.
creating. It's, once
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
that's what you're bringing into your reality. And I also had a thought as well. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Deb, but they like won't back up off of me. Is for this specific person, to go along with that, I have a question for you. And it is there something that is presenting in your reality that seems like a cyclical pattern? Is there something presenting that you are either avoiding facing, not wanting to face, or maybe not really seeing for what it is? Um, it's a good question, just to be honest with yourself, and it's not a judged question or anything like that, but
Right,
is there some shadow work or something presenting that you're feeling you need
right.
to work through? Because if so,
And
that's a
that's
great
part of
place
the
to
purging.
start. That's part of the
Yeah.
purging as well. So sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
we're purging physically, like we are literally throwing up or we're hacking or things like that. But sometimes the purging is
Crying.
crying.
Yeah.
Sometimes the purging is wanting to stand at the top of a mountain and scream. And that's okay as long as you're not screaming
Yeah.
at someone else, right? Like, project it out into
Yep.
the wind, not at your friends.
Right.
And that's okay. Sometimes purging is going through your past, this lifetime, your past in this lifetime, or even past lifetimes, and finding out what is it in there that I'm seeing that's not being healed. Hi, Moni. Hi,
Okay.
everyone.
Hi, Moni. I have a question. Skull Girl 24. She says, how can you tell me? She said, how can you tell what a certain dialect is? My light language has changed recently. And you have to ask, darling. You
Yeah.
have to ask, and you need to trust. You have to ask what you're channeling, who you're channeling, and you need to listen to the answer.
Yes. Ask, ask. And I suggest as well, recording yourself. Record
Yep.
yourself on your phone. Take a quick little video, save it. You don't have to come right back to it right away. But save that video on your phone, and when you're feeling ready, listen again, feel in. You can do it with your eyes closed, your eyes open. You don't have to watch yourself. I know a lot of us don't like to look at ourselves on screen. It's like, but listen, feel in,
Yeah.
set the intention. What is this that I'm connecting with here? Set the intention, listen to it. How does it feel? Do you hear anything, see anything? Does anything download in? But as Deb said, yeah, I actually was just going to answer this question in a video today,
Yeah.
and I probably still will later, but ask. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to ask.
Also, how I started recognizing when I had doubt that that's what I was channeling. What I started doing as I started calling in energies I wanted to work with. So if there was a Lemurian guide or Pleiadian or Syrian guide, I started calling them in and calibrating to the dialect. And then I would just say, okay, I just want to practice with Syrian. And the Syrian, and I would just start channeling that dialect. Okay. And that got me familiar with the Syrians. Okay. And I would take like 1 week and I would just focus on one particular energy at a time at channeling them. And then that's how I got to know them. And that's how I established my dialects.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even count how many I have now. I got all kinds of different
Right. And it
things.
just kind of gets thrown in like the filing cabinet in your mind. Like that is that's like your Rolodex, your inventory of dialects is just one at a time. And really, I say this all the time, but I continue to say it: patience, practice, and allowance.
Yeah.
Patience, practice, and allowance, because, it's not, and it might, so, everybody's different, but like most people, it's not just going to be like, this comes in, bam, this is Pleiadian. Yep. This is Fae. Yep. This is it. Like, if it does, that's fantastic.
It's about remembering. Yeah. It's a remembrance process. So I have a question. What does activation do, and what is to be expected abilities wise post activation? Abilities wise, well, you're going to be extra sensitive. And like we said, abilities meaning your abilities, your clairs, your claircognizant abilities, your clairaudient abilities, those abilities are going to ramp up. You're going to be extra sensitive. And also it pushes you into this is what I'm hearing specifically for you that's asking the question, is it's pushing you into your soul's mission, your contract, so to speak.
Yeah.
Once you make that decision, you'll be actually serving like a purpose that you came here to do as far as your starseed purpose. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's just a choice. It's when you'll feel that push. Okay. Mm-hmm. Energetically, you're going to feel the push you'll just know. It's like a knowing that comes over you that you want to learn, or you want to learn more about it. And it also helps you to help others. So that's the benefit of it, is you're helping not only friends, family members, but also the collective, people that you'll get your, what we call contracts, people that will be coming to you as well, will come out of nowhere because your guides will be sending them to you to help support them. That's what happens. Yeah. We came on TikTok and, we're helping all kinds of people because we know that we have to do this together. This isn't about singular here. We're not doing this alone. We are collectively doing this.
And every time you share your experience, I promise you are assisting someone, because it is so often that if you have a question or you have an experience, the moment that you ask that or put that out there, other people are going to say, oh my gosh, me too. And it could just be that they were afraid to ask, or they didn't know what to do with it. Thank you so much for the roses, by the way. And I just wanted to add on to that. I have some questions as well. But for me, when my soul language activated, it just blew my clairs wide open. So
Yep.
like it's expect the unexpected, like go into that being comfortable, being uncomfortable, because you're going to go through the waves of emotion. You're going to notice that
Oh
you
yeah.
are extra sensitive. But
Hmm.
it's a wild ride, and I promise you it will change your life. It has changed my entire life. I know it's changed Deb's life.
Oh yeah.
Never when I was a child did I think, you know what, when I get older, I'm definitely going to be channeling galactic races, and that's going to be what I do. Like, never did I
Yeah.
think that. I was like, maybe I'll be a mailman. That seems like fun, like not, not thinking that this would be
Right.
fun.
I mean, 6 years ago, I was sleeping.
Yeah.
6, 7 years ago, I was sleeping. And, when I woke up, it was like I just intuitively knew that there was some sort of thing I had to do.
Yeah.
And I knew I had abilities, right? And many of you do. You all have abilities. And when you finally are curious about yourself and want to learn how to do it, that's when things start shifting. You just have to choose to make that decision. I have tons of questions. Wow.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I want to ask one because it kind of covers two, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
So Mrs. Marvelous says, do you just wake up one day speaking it? And someone else also said, how can we get activated? So it is very possible. There are many scenarios. So it's very possible to self-activate. That's what happened to me. I just one night I like had a glass of wine, was up late, was watching a live, and I just went to bed and I started speaking, and it translated in my head, and I said, this is Pleiadian. And then I said, girl, you crazy, go to bed. Next morning, I woke up and I was like flitting around my house and speaking Fae. And even my
Yeah.
mom was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm a fairy. And she was like, okay. And then I
Yeah.
found Deb and I was like, I think I need to know this person. Like, I need to speak with her. She will understand. She'll
Mhm.
know. It's also very possible that while you're going through your own self-healing, if you're going through massive shadow work, if you're going through massive emotional, physical, or
Yeah.
traumatic healing, for it to come up, it can become uncomfortable in your body and just want to come out. And then you can also go to someone that does that is considered an activator, whose mission
Right.
is to turn on a soul language in another and spark a remembrance of ability. I do that. Deb does that. Deb does not just the personal ones or privates, but she also does group activations as well. So
Yeah.
there are many different ways for it to come up, but most importantly, if it's coming into your awareness and you're drawn to it, I always say that's the sign that that's
Yeah.
part of your mission, because everyone
Yeah.
has the ability to energetically understand and use. I know, Deb wants people to know this. I want people to know this. I really want people to know that you do not have to be special
Don't.
to access that. Okay. It's something that everyone has the ability energetically, and it's your divine right to connect with. Whether you choose to or not is also your sovereign choice. And whether it's meant to be a big part of your path will vary for each person. But I always say,
Yeah.
go where you're drawn. And if it's coming into your awareness and you're not like weirded out by it, and you think, oh, that's kind of interesting, you'll kind of know within your body.
Yeah. I was drawn to it immediately when I
Me
saw
too. I
soul
was like,
language.
well,
It
that's
made
neat.
me cry. It made me cry. Little, at
Yeah,
that moment when I observed it, I didn't know I would be an activator,
right.
but I
Me
was
neither.
observing it on two different occasions. My soul language started coming up in a healing session I was doing. So a lot of Reiki masters usually come online to soul language.
Yeah.
But I was never certified in Reiki. I had my own modality that I heal with my heart space. And I had words that were forming as I was doing the healing, and I immediately knew it was soul language because I had a dear friend that was speaking it. And so I reached out to her and I said, does this usually how it starts? And she said, yeah, usually it will start during a healing, like when you're unconditionally sending love to somebody to heal them. Okay. Because that's what you're accessing is it's through the heart, right?
Right.
So, and that's where your soul resides, is in that heart space. And that is where you will be activated. Your brain does not understand it. And so
Yeah.
you cannot translate from there. It's translated from here.
Right.
I tell people all the time, if you're looking for it up here, you're not going to find it. Okay. And somebody had a question. They said, if your third eye is open, are you activated? No. It comes from your soul. Comes from your heart. Okay. However, everybody can be activated. It's just a choice. So for me, if I reached out to the individual, that friend of mine, because she was doing soul language activation. So I said, let's do a session. And she's like, how about swapsies? And I was like, okay. So I did energy work on her, and then she helped me go deeper with my soul language. And it changed my life on so many levels. I was extremely emotional. I cried that entire time. I released so much. And part of the release, as you know, Tina, is because I was finally at my soul's mission. I knew light language was my purpose. And I finally got there. And I knew that was what was happening, was that I was shifting. Yeah. And once I did that, then it was like I started channeling my guides in different dialects. And then I started I didn't have the answers. I didn't really have anybody that knew a whole lot.
Right.
She knew about light language, but she didn't know what I was speaking. She had no idea what I had to figure that out on my own.
Right.
My dialect was a Lemurian dialect, but also I have strong connections to Pleiades because Pleiadian mothers seated in Lemuria. And so, we brought that knowledge here. We brought all that here to Earth. So anyway, and we're all about teaching the littles. We're all about teaching and helping people to remember who they are. Okay, that is our purpose. That is what Tina and I do. Help you connect. Not only do we heal with soul language, we also help you to remember that this is within you.
Yeah.
And that every single person on here can do the same thing.
Yeah. And that
it's an ability that we all forgot we had.
That is our biggest passion, is empowering other people by assisting them in empowering themselves. Realizing that these things are a piece of them, realizing that you are not separate. You are not separate from Deb. You're not separate from me. You're not separate from whoever it is that you're watching, right? That's using it. That ability lies within you. And everybody's abilities are a little bit different, but you have those abilities within you.
So if you're asking how to work with your abilities or know about your abilities, I suggest you take we have a star. We're not trying to advertise it, but we are. Okay. Because we know that all of you have abilities. So if you're kind of wanting to learn more of how to connect or how we do it, we can suggest to you the Starseed course that we're teaching. Okay, that it's a learn at your own pace and your own time. That's the beauty of the course. It doesn't start at a certain time. It starts when you want to practice, when you want to work on it. And I experienced this way. I went such a major shift and learning how to channel, and then teaching fell right in line with it. And I just started teaching right after that. And that is what you all will be doing, because there's not enough of us teaching people how to connect with their abilities.
Exactly.
And then soul language comes with it.
Right. And everybody has their own, I love to use the word flavor, right? Everybody has their own flavor, their own flair. And because everyone uses their clairs a little bit differently, Deb and I, we do work very similarly in a lot of things, but we're also different, right? We see things differently. We feel things differently. We use our clairs differently, and we both have what we know is what we would consider our strength or this. So the more people that really commit to coming online to their abilities and start sharing with one another, the more people are going to continue awakening, right? Yeah. And I know so many of you that come into this course are the ones that are going to be reaching out and teaching others. I see this, I feel this, I see and feel these people already giving each other advice and reaching out and lending a hand. I see that. So
they want to help people. They want to. So they want to be of service, and they feel it deeply within them that this is what it is. Especially there's a lot of people that are kind of stuck at what direction to go. I just had a reading with it said, no, it was a couple days ago, where she was, going to college, but she's like, nothing, I just don't feel in alignment. And I was like, because you're a channeler, your direction is just in a different path,
Yeah. And that's
right?
okay.
It's a different direction. And, it's just recognizing that, yes, okay, you're right. I need to start recognizing these things within myself. And I had somebody ask me, do people have a fear of sounding weird? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Are you
For me,
kidding me?
I've always been weird, but I will say, like, when I start with the day that I was like, I'm a fairy now, even I was like, okay, that's a little strange. And like, thank God my grandparents weren't home at that time. My mom was home and she was like, okay. And there wasn't a whole lot of like question about it. She was just like, all right, if you say so, you should probably get a hold of Deb, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
there is
love
a
it.
big fear, but for me, like I was like, this is the weirdest thing I think that I've ever done, but I've never felt more like myself. And so I was like outside talking to bugs and lizards and trees, and like my neighbors have heard
Actually,
all kinds of crazy stuff.
that is the truth. We've just forgotten who we are because of the society's program of they expect us to be, and that is to get us too far away from the true essence of who we are. Okay, we need to start being uniquely who we are and within ourselves. So it was a really challenging. My dialect wasn't too bad. Mine was Lemurian. It just sounded like an ancient dialect. So, but I did work with some people who were mantis, and they had a fear of showing that light language to people. And so they are like, Deb, mine doesn't sound like yours. I'm just, and I'm like, it's still beautiful, and you need to realize how beautiful that is.
And so powerful.
And this is who you are, and so powerful. Exactly. And,
I
so,
love the mantis.
yeah.
I'm like, bring it on, people. Bring me all the mantis.
Yes, I talk to trees. Yes, I do too. I talk to everything. I talk to the birds.
Yeah.
I talk to everything, and I'm not ashamed of that. Like,
No.
I just feel like the ones who say you're crazy for doing that, it's because it's a program.
Right.
It's a program that society says it's wrong to do because it's they think you're nuts or whatever they want to believe. I don't really care about perceptions
they just
of
may
others.
not be ready, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We honor everyone exactly where they are.
Yeah. I know that there's some
Moni
powerful people.
When he said, like, what we do is spiritually exotic. Like, I love that he calls it spiritually exotic. He's like, not everybody that's into spirituality is doing the weird stuff that I'm doing, and that's okay.
And that's perfectly fine. If they don't want to do it, it's not in their contract to do it. I don't have, like, I have, my youngest son is an activator. I activated him. He's activating. My middle son, he doesn't want anything to do with it. He's living the 3D life, the human experience, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
But I'm just, Seth is there to help me with shifting. He's going to be working a lot with me. There's people on here that I know that I've activated that are afraid to step out of their comfort zone and start speaking it on a public platform. It's a stage. It's a stage you're going to go through. The fear of that fear of being seen and perceptions of others is going to come up. It's, can you push through that barrier and not give a shit about what these people think? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. And once you step out of your comfort zone, that's when doors open.
Right. And that's going to be that point is going to be different for everyone, right? Like that, because I have a few people kind of talking about it on my side, but one of the questions was, did you have a significant other when you activated, and how did they take it? And me personally, no, I didn't. I had two babies, my mom and my grandparents. So like all in the same house. And I definitely, like, it's always kind of been like, Tina's the weird one, right? Like, but I definitely blew everyone in that house wide open to the point where, like, at first, yeah, of course they're going to be like, are you okay? What is this? But it got so, even my grandparents, right, and it's understandable. And even them, like their generation, they're just like, oh, that's so normal. And now they tell people when they go out to eat, like, oh, my granddaughter does all this all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, please stop telling strangers. But I don't care, right?
Yeah.
So that
Hey,
that
I can't help
really
it sometimes. I
yeah.
like yesterday, fireworks, and was watching the kids do fireworks, and one of the littles got a burn from one of the fireworks because he was
Oh,
running with the little
no.
sparkler. And I
Yeah.
went and grabbed my oils, right? And I started putting the oils on, and he was like, and I started speaking light language to him because it
Yeah.
automatically just started. This is a healing modality. So and he just kind of looked at me. And of course, he didn't understand what I was saying, but,
Right.
you know, it just comes out when it's
It just
needed.
comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized I was
But
walking through the hotel lobby doing that the other day, and I was like, well, that's fine. That's fine.
oh my gosh, I went to the
In the
casino the
grocery
other day
store.
and you should have seen
Oh, in
me.
the
I
casino.
was, yeah, I was like clearing people out like crazy. And finally, I got to a point where there was too many people in there that I started coughing like crazy. So I knew it was my time to go because it
Yeah.
was just too overwhelming.
Too much.
But I have to push myself to be in these large crowds because I'm going to be activating the massive crowds later
Yeah.
in my in my soul's mission. So my guides are saying you got to get used to it.
Yeah.
So that's what I plan on doing. But anyway, let's answer some more questions here.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all being here.
This is the new normal. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and
Well,
normal
I've
too,
been doing
right?
this
Is
for
like,
quite a while now. So it's been my
yeah,
normal for a
it's been
while.
my normal for 3 years, almost 3 years, right? Maybe
Yeah,
the concept of
I
earthly
think so.
time. I think so.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years.
hmm No one in my circle believes what I believe, and that's
And
okay.
it's okay. They
It's
don't
not,
have
it's where
to.
they're at. Yeah,
Right. And that's the
it's
thing
where
is
they're at.
that people around you don't have to believe in the same things as you, as long as
Mhm.
everyone is still moving from a place of love and being compassionate and understanding to each other, then it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
right? It's when it becomes like a harsh like argument or
Yeah.
something that it becomes uncomfortable. But
Right.
it's okay. Everyone's where they are.
How can we change programs with it? By setting an intention and allowing that light language to clear out that program that is needed. And sometimes it happens when you're shifting. Your guides will come and channel through you and already start to remove old programming.
Yeah,
But setting an intention to do that, yeah.
exactly.
I removed tons of old programming from people,
Yeah.
tons. I'm
Oh
always
yeah.
removing and inserting, yeah,
Mhm.
always,
That's what I
which is
do a lot of
exciting.
as well. Yeah.
hmm
That's some of our
And when
favorite
we're
stuff to
talking
do.
about, yeah, what programming is, what we is society's programming, the old ways that no longer are working for us. And once we remove it, it no longer comes up in your awareness. And then you'll get a download of we insert the new codes needed for you to start remembering the new ways or
Right.
the ancient ways.
The old ways
Okay.
that are the new ways.
Yeah, which are really the old ways of using our abilities. Okay. If you think of us like a computer, an advanced computer that needs upgrades, it needs purging, right? It needs the new software.
Right.
That's who we are.
Exactly. We do
This
too.
is, and this, needs new software. Okay. Because we're lifting into higher states of consciousness. We're moving up. We're moving up.
Yeah.
They got that Jefferson song, Moving On Up, that song in my head,
Song.
right? Yeah.
Eric's here.
Yep. Eric is with us right now. So that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Do you have any other questions on your end?
Yes, I'm sure I have a lot if I scroll back. So guys, if I missed your question, go ahead and re-ask. Bumblebee Cindy says, it seems like a lot of light workers activated around the same time frame. Did something happen? Yes, that is a great observation. So
Yeah.
you'll start to notice that people really do kind of come online, awaken to their gifts and abilities, and activate in waves. So myself, Tyel, Healer Daniel, we didn't know each other at the time, but we all self-activated within like a 3-month time frame, and I was like, oh man, we were so totally on the same wave. Hey guys, like you're my wave buddies. And we all
Yep,
came on
yep.
TikTok at the same time. It was just like, you'll notice that people go through these waves for sure.
Yeah. I had a question. Do you have appointments that you can share who and who your guys are? That would be just a general reading, honey. Yes. And this is Jen, God, I can't even read this. Jen the Kale Fish. If you go to my link in my bio, or you can go to mysticheartspace.com, just do a general reading. And it will cover whatever you want whatever questions you want to ask your guides. Okay. I haven't posted yet, but I will be doing a group soul language activation session. Somebody asked me, they said they couldn't find it. And I said, because I just finished it. It was on June 25th. So I will be posting another one where I activate up to 11 people in a session, a private session. So I'm actually going to increase how many people. So if you're interested in getting activated and you don't mind being activated with others, then you're welcome to join in on that. And that's only $75. So it's a lot cheaper than the private session. Yeah. I'm going to be doing them every month. Okay. So keep that in mind. I might start doing them every couple of weeks if it gets, sold out quickly.
Call Me Marie Claire is asking, is it important to know our light language origins? I want to say yes and no, and it all depends upon what you're using it for. So what I would say is, in the beginning, not necessarily no. Like just allow yourself to move through it, calibrate, right. Let it flow out, and set the brain sort of on the back burner. Allow your body, your voice, your throat, your vibration to calibrate and start using it. But I do think it's very important to know who and what you're channeling. Because it's very important to be able to use your discernment in doing so. Now, if you want to start activating others with their light language or soul language, it's important, I think, as well to know what the dialects are. So no, I don't think it's detrimental if you don't necessarily know right away, but I do think it's important to know because it helps you to connect in deeper with yourself, and it helps you to be of assistance to others in connecting as well. And I generally think it's really important to know who and what you're connecting in with. So what they're coming into your channel. It'll better help you to set your own boundaries, your own set of guidelines, and help to preserve your energy and your vibration.
Good question. It's a really good question. And I agree with what Tina said wholeheartedly. And I also, like in the beginning, I wanted to know who I was.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to want to know.
Me too. And then
it wasn't
until I surrendered and said, okay, I don't care, that it really started coming in the beginning.
Right. But I didn't know for the longest time.
Right.
Well, for myself, I had to figure it out on my own. I didn't have anybody to ask. Everything that I've learned in this journey, I have figured out myself. And that's a remembrance process. And then the tools that I use are now in the light language course that I teach so that people can learn quicker than I did.
Right.
And then we have the new Starseed Awakening course for if you're wanting to learn more about your abilities and your channeling abilities and opening up that aspect. Because I started with my channeling first.
Right.
I did a reading for Tina. I did a reading for you a long time ago. And I was like, they're telling me you have abilities. Wait a minute here. You need to be doing what I'm doing.
And you were like, are you in the channeling course? If you're not in the channeling course, you need to be in the channeling course. And I was like, me? And then I was like, oh, that's really nice. And then like 3 months later, I just started speaking light language. And I was like, I better find that lady again. Like, let me go find her. Yep. I knew her right away. I was like, I just knew you. But I was like, no way. And then like I did everything. I always call it backwards, but it's not backwards. Everyone's order is the way it's meant to be, right? I just started doing light language. And then I was like, I should probably channel, right? Like I should probably figure that out.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. How can you tell what are your abilities and how to activate them? By starting with the course to help you to understand it. Mm-hmm. you have to start. I started with the course. That's how I had to figure out what my abilities were. I started with the course, and then I realized I was very claircognizant, clairaudient, and I could feel, which is my dominant.
Mhm.
Everybody knows when the way I read, I feel everything.
Mhm.
So, and it's a really powerful ability. And, you know, people are like, well, I wish I could see, I wish I could do that. And I'm like, you got to work with the ones that are open, because the ones that are open are usually your dominant ones for a reason. And it's probably your life purpose.
Right.
So we teach you how to tune into the abilities that you innately are born with. Everybody has them. Everybody.
Absolutely.
I'm so tired of saying it because it's true.
I
You know
know,
what I mean?
I know, and it breaks my heart because I have a post right now like you do. If you want to know what your abilities are, comment. And
Yeah.
I'll get through as many as I can. People, just be patient with me, everyone, because I will get there. I promise. I've got 2 toddlers,
Yeah,
but
I'm getting
I'm
there too,
working.
slowly.
We're working through it, and it breaks my heart when I see people say, "I know I'm not special. I know I don't have abilities," and I'm like, "Watch this video again. Watch this video again." Because we all
Yeah.
have abilities and
Yeah.
everyone is special, right? Nobody is like that far above everybody that they're the only one that has it, right? There are people that practice and work with things for years and years and years and are very
Yeah.
talented at what they do. That's, I'm not just saying that, but everyone has abilities. Um, Someone is asking, is it common to have singing come through before verbal light language? I think
Yes,
it's very common, and that's
it
a way
is.
of toning, calibrating
Yep.
your body to be able to
Sometimes,
that frequency,
I'm sorry,
clearing
go
things
ahead.
out. No, go ahead, clearing things out.
I was going to say I've activated 2 angels that sing.
Yeah,
They sing. They're angelic, but
yeah,
they came out singing first in their light language. That's
absolutely.
because they're angelic. Yeah. And we also, everybody has a soul song, so don't be surprised if you start singing your soul song.
Right.
It helps you to come back home to the heart center.
Hmm.
Everybody
And
has a soul song.
yeah,
So yes,
that's another
absolutely.
hint that you're getting ready, that you're calibrating in.
Yep. Hmm. Can the process of an activation or awakening can feel like depression?
Yes,
So
absolutely
it
can.
sometimes it can be depression can be also shadow work, that trauma, things that need to be faced. Being in the present moment, awareness will help you to connect those emotions. I have a lot of people that say they're depressed, but really it's just that they're focusing a lot on negativity, or their attention is going
Right.
elsewhere besides being present and being grateful. That focusing on the positive things in our life are going to give you more of
Yeah.
that.
And I feel
Okay,
like
but
it's
we're
definitely a
programmed.
stage of the
Yeah,
awakening as well. Like,
it
everybody's
is.
is going to be
Yeah,
different, but there is this stage where you start
yeah,
questioning everything around you and you maybe start feeling alone.
yep,
There's also a stage of like, okay, I have imposter syndrome, and they can all sort of lead in that direction. Just know that you are never alone. You always have support. Even if you feel physically alone, you have your team around you. Look to the spiritual community, people of like-minded ideas. Look for things like Facebook groups, Discord groups. I feel like there's something very powerful. For me, it was everything, having support and having others that were sort of on the same brainwave as me, that were talking about the same things, going through similar things. It's really important to know that you're not alone.
I had to switch places because it's getting hot where I was sitting. Okay, I'm in the shade now. Much better. But yes, I went through a stage for 3 months. I got off all social media. I was so sick and tired of my life.
Yeah.
I was tired of the repetitive patterns of choosing men. My behavior
Yeah.
was ridiculous and I wasn't happy. And I finally went off social media. People were like worried about me. They're like, what happened to Deb? But I
Yeah.
just needed to disconnect. I started self-meditating, didn't even know how, but it was just that timeline. And that was back in 2011. And that's when my journey began, right before the craziness of people thought the world was going to end in 2012
Yeah.
due to the Mayan calendar. That is when I started waking up. And I started astral traveling, seeing my spirit come back to my body, and realized that there was definitely something different happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when I got pushed by my guide, Eric, to learn more about my abilities. And look at me now, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Gotta trust yourself.
So yeah, see, this is beautiful.
Aloha.
Jaded Beautiful in the comments over, if you're on my side, she says, I have a Facebook group. If anyone's interested in joining, everyone's welcome, all soul family. See, there's support all around. Deb and I both have groups in our link trees as well. So if you're looking for support, connection, I have some Facebook groups. I have Ty's Discord in there. Deb has the Light Language Awakening group, and we have the Starseed Intuitive Awakening group. So just know that you're never alone. And guys, if you have groups and you want to share for support in here, go ahead. I'm so fine with that. And I have someone saying, I just can't afford private things. I'm just trying to figure myself out. And that's okay. That's okay. Look to the community.
And keep watching,
okay?
keep asking questions, look at
Keep
the videos.
asking questions, keep tuning into your
to help
heart.
you. Yeah.
Do daily check-ins with yourself. How am I feeling today? Do you notice anything shifting? And look to the spiritual community. There are so many spiritual groups, Discords, Facebook groups, even just, creators that you resonate with on TikTok or Facebook or YouTube, whatever. Find what resonates with you. Allow yourself to ask questions. Google things, Google what do the clairs mean and which one feels more aligned with you, right? Don't be afraid to ask questions and
learn about chakras.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. Can light language help past trauma?
Yes. Yes.
Number one thing that it
light language
does.
throws me into full-on past life regression, trauma clearing sessions. So yes, absolutely.
Yep. And it started my healing process with my Norse lifetime. Yep.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Is I've noticed that when I have particular dialects wanting to come forward and be on the forefront, generally what's happening, and I view time concurrently, right? Like I feel like it's all happening at the same time, but I feel like at that moment when that's coming up dominantly for me, there's something in an alternate life that needs to be healed or that is traumatic or is being worked on. And so I generally ask myself those questions. Okay, I've been an Arcturian amphibian for 3 months now, so what's going on? Or, okay, I'm like feeling this Norse energy. What can I work on clearing? What's coming up? There's a reason that it's coming up.
I don't know when that, I'm going to post it. It'll be sometime in July. I'll get it posted probably by tomorrow. She's asking about the group session for light language. I keep hearing about CERN. We just addressed CERN, but we can go over it one more time. There's different timelines of reality happening. If you choose to focus on the negative aspects, then it's your choice. Remember, we have the power to, decide. It's free will to decide what direction CERN. I don't even want to get into it, honestly, because it's just, I don't want it in my awareness or in my program. Okay, but it's nothing to be feared. It's just another timeline experience. It's just up to you if you want to experience it.
Yeah. Yes, I do one-on-one sessions. So everything's in my link tree. The courses are in my link tree, sessions, personal transmissions. There's a ton of support circles. All of that's in my link tree. So if you're interested, just check it out. Do you ever work with astral librarians? Yes, I'm pretty sure that a version of myself is one. Sorting through things up there always. That's why I feel like I always need to see things and just take snapshots of things and throw it in I call it the filing cabinet in my mind.
Don't apologize for asking questions. It's perfectly fine.
We love answering questions. We want you to answer. We want you to ask questions. This is a safe space always.
Yeah, okay. They're talking about CERN. Now, I want you guys to use discernment. When they're talking about CERN, are they projecting fear? And that is where you know that it's probably not in alignment with your highest good.
Right.
We never focus on fear. If it's a fear-based thought or fear-based projection, then it's not in alignment. Just remember that. Use discernment. That is huge in the spiritual community. Feel what's right for you. If you want to focus on the fear, then that's experience you're going to have. Okay. Can you tell me if flash images in my head is activating abilities? I'm asking her guides this question. They're your guides. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I feel like the clairvoyance is really coming on.
Yeah,
just,
it feels like
flinging up
clairvoyance.
snapshots. You know how they're presenting it to me?
Snapshots.
It's like when you look for those viewfinders that had the wheel and you click and the picture changes.
Yeah.
That's how they're showing it to me.
Yeah. So it's like they're trying to help you they're putting images in your head too to help you know that this is one of your abilities. Very
Right.
clairvoyant.
Absolutely. Head's been buzzing, ears are ringing, driving you crazy. Yes. There's been a lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that. That's the clairaudience really amping up. I've noticed clairaudience is one of my strongest clairs, and I've noticed like layers and layers and layers of frequency coming in lately, and I've just been trying to consciously say, give me one, give me one, give me one, and I'm like watching these little dials, trying to sift through it because it can be a lot. But everyone, please remember that we said earlier, if you're just coming in, there has been a massive consciousness shift. Okay, so people are getting amplified abilities. There's been ramped up ascension symptoms. People, of course, always don't discount medical doctor's advice, but people are noticing headaches. People are staying awake, buzzing, all kinds of things. Stay grounded. Bring that focus and attention and everything back down into the heart space. Okay, get centered, focus on breathing, get outside in nature. Stay hydrated, add a pinch of salt to your water, get those electrolytes in, really allow your bodies to rest. We're really being forced to be present right now. Okay, so even though there's all this crazy stuff going on astrally and everywhere else, being in the physical body. If your physical body wants to go do cartwheels at the playground, do that. If your physical body wants to lay on the couch, do that. Just be present with yourself.
Okay, you're telling, okay. You were telling us about your abilities. Are you continuing doing that? Yes. I'm getting to as many as I can. Please remember that I have sessions every day and I do lives on Facebook. So I'm very active. So just keep in mind that I have to honor my energy before I can respond to the TikTok messages, but I will be getting back to those abilities in the post, as well as what guides in my energy. I've been doing those too. Okay, so there's 3,000 comments, you guys.
Yeah, I'm right there too. Like I have one up as well. So please, like, while Deb's on that subject, we love you. We promise we're going to get to as many people as possible.
Yes.
It might take a little while, so please show us a little grace and patience, and we promise we'll do our best to get through it. But there's all sorts of layers to life as well. So,
Veronica, does ringing mean clairaudience? Yes, it means your ears are open. You're hearing the frequencies. Yeah, ear pressure in the ears. Yes.
Popping in the ears.
Can you get a fever in ascension process? Yes. Unfortunately, you can. You can actually get sick during ascension, unfortunately, because there's things that need to be cleared out. If you're not actively clearing your energy with energy work or light language, then yes, you can get really sick, unfortunately. So take care of yourself and your energy, and also they're saying self-care for you.
Yeah. Can your guides block you from getting help if they feel you need to figure it out yourself? 100% absolutely. Now, they won't do that if it's not in your highest good, but it's important to know that, and I feel like I haven't said this in a while. So a lot of the time, if you're asking questions, know that the help
You're
that you're
answering.
asking for might not come
Yeah.
in the way that you're expecting.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're not getting the answer right away, it's because there's a lesson or there's something that needs to occur
Yeah.
first, some realization you need to come up with first. And my favorite and least favorite of all terms, divine timing. Okay. So sometimes we're just not meant to know right now. Sometimes we get what I call little breadcrumbs or puzzle pieces. And they can be exciting and frustrating at the same time, but allow yourself to sort of keep building them up, throwing them in your basket, and soon you'll be able to put the piece together. Okay.
So there's a question about Rh negative blood. Are we different?
Eric just popped in
So,
and said, I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. That's why I'm smirking. Sorry.
so this is my understanding.
Hi.
I am just regular. I have A positive blood type, and I'm able to channel all kinds of beings. I just feel like there's different. What I'm feeling is like the different bloodlines are just from what they seeded here to make DNA changes. So I don't think anybody is more special than the other. I think that we're just all unique. And I don't know. I'm not in alignment with the whole you have to be Rh negative or Rh
Right.
blood type to be. That's not what I get from my guides. It's just a different type. That's all.
Right.
It's just a different type. It might be a little bit more sensitive. Those individuals might be just a little bit more sensitive.
I would be curious,
Yeah.
honestly, to know if it would be like in alignment with specific missions or things, but I'm not really getting anything on that right now either. I think the most important message, like Deb's feeling and wanting to come through, is really unity, and just
Right.
we're all different,
Exactly.
and it could be different star families or whatever, but it's
Exactly.
you don't have to have a certain blood type, because I feel like when we start saying things like that, there becomes this stigma or separation, right? Like I'm not an RH blood type, but I channel all day, every day, so I think it's just a difference that we have.
I have another question. Can I see different energies but don't know what they are? Sparkles, cells, and kind of thing. She's seeing these energies. I just feel like your clairvoyant abilities are coming on strong. I do feel like your guides are trying to get your attention. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're starting to come online. I get that a lot as well when I have new energies coming in. I'll see sparkles, or I call it like cellophane or plastic wrap, where I'll see and I'm like, I can see you, and it's just like a shape of clear ripples going in front of my face, and I'm like, are you masking or are you new, So I'll get that, or like
it's
the
a unique ability
looking things. It's kind of letting you know, like, hey, your clairvoyance is coming in, or it could be a new energy coming in as well. That's a tuning.
Right. Feels like new guides are trying. Their guides are like waving at her, like trying to give her attention, and they're just trying to help you awaken more to your abilities. That's all. Like for me, when spirit comes in, I feel the shift. So that's my strongest clair. So everybody has to learn how to work with what's open. So I love these questions, though. See, this is
trying to go back because they know.
Amazing how much you share and offer people free. Oh, honey.
Is the need to clear and transmute more often collective, or is it just me? I 100% feel like it is more often, for sure, because every time the energy ramps up and we start going through these portals and these shifts and timelines collapsing and more people come online, there's more need to cleanse in general, and transmute.
I do it every day.
Yeah, I do it every day, several times a day.
Sometimes I have to do it a few times a day. Get in the habit of, and my crystals really help me with that too, by the way. I use my crystals a lot to help they take it from me and transmute it. There's certain crystals that are healers that will help take and transmute what you picked up on from others. I do a lot of coughing and hacking. I'm just keeping it real.
Too.
Coughing, gagging.
Clearing my throat, coughing, hacking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I almost sound like I'm dry heaving, which is kind of...
Oh, it's awful. It is.
I went through a
Yes.
phase where I told my team, okay, I'm tired of hacking while I'm on lives. Can I transmute it in a different way? And they said, sure. And then for about 2 months straight, I sneezed like crazy. And I was like, okay, let's go back to the coughing because that might be more annoying for me.
Yep. Yeah. So the girl who I asked about the RH blood type, she says, I feel like we're a different species. That's what I'm feeling
Yeah,
too.
it's very possible.
It's not that you're better than anyone. It's just a different line.
It's just a
It's
different
just a
line. That's
different,
what I was
different
feeling with
set
like
of,
different
right.
star
That's
families,
all.
different.
You answered your own question, with
Yeah.
that you're reading that. Yeah. O Sarayo Maraya Sati.
Okay, what does it mean or how do you focus on your heart chakra? So for me, when I hear that focus on the heart, I am consciously feeling into things. For me, shifting to my heart is as simple as eyes open or closed, bringing my attention down to my heart space.
Yeah.
Okay, for
Put
me,
your hand over your heart.
I'm a heart
Focus on
center
that.
being, so that is my
Mhm.
center. It's Deb's center. That's where I pump
Yep.
most of my energy through. So bringing the attention down to the heart center, clearing the mind. So things like meditation, if you're not someone that likes to sit in meditation, you can walk, you can dance, focusing on your breathing in order to kind of let the mind sit on the back burner. Think about the things that you love that bring you joy, what makes you
Grateful.
happy. Gratitude, focusing on gratitude.
Gratitude is how I activate people. Gratitude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Focusing on love and love for yourself.
So I have a question. Hi. What does light language activation feel like? It feels like home. It feels like love. It feels very emotional.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll feel like you need to cry because it may hurt because you're finally able to connect with your soul's expression.
Yeah.
So everybody is different. When I've activated people, I've seen people crying. I've seen people hysterically laughing.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people, because they're like, how did I forget this? And they laugh, right?
Right.
And we have a
And
good
that's a
laugh.
great
Or
way to shift
sometimes,
energy too, laughing.
right. Sometimes people are burping.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
as they're clearing, there's a lot of burping, yawning. But most of the time, people get emotional.
Yeah.
And that is because they're finally there. And a lot of times when I'm activating, I can hear them speaking their light language, and they'll say to me, I was afraid that I would forget. I was afraid I would forget. And they got real emotional. I was lost for a while. This freaking life is hard. And they, start talking
Yeah.
about the physical aspects of this life and how hard it is to come back to remembrance. Okay.
Right.
But it's a beautiful, I guarantee you'll feel better after.
Yeah.
Especially when you're able to finally
It's
speak,
like
then
it's
it's like,
coming home. It's exactly what you said.
it
It's coming
is,
home.
it's coming home.
Coming home to yourself. I have someone asking what type of crystals to help clear. What crystals do you use? Personally, I love selenite. I cannot get enough selenite for
Yeah.
clearing my energy on my body, clearing my home. I use selenite to clear the home the same way that I would use bundles of herbs or anything like that. I like to use selenite to charge other crystals, to clear and charge other crystals. Also just being that like the majority of my work is online, I have a lot of shungite around me very often. So whether it be necklaces, palm stones, I have a lot of shungite. I have a lot of fluorite. I like rainbow fluorite because it's pretty, but fluorite are both really great at clearing EMF. The shungite especially is really great at alchemizing. I also tend to have a lot of clear quartz and Lemurian quartz around me. It kind of feels like that's the one that I wear the most. And that will help amplify any intention. Smoky quartz is a great transmuter as well because it takes the negativity, it pulls it in and sends it down into the earth to come back up and cycle. So I have and use all types of crystals, and so does
Oh yeah,
Deb.
me too.
But those are some of my favorites. What are your favorites, Deb?
So the first one, when I started learning to channel, hello, Amarayo.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello. Oh my God, they're so sweet. Oh, they came to say hello. How sweet. Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh, when I first started learning the channel, I used selenite because I found that I was clearing energy out of my space, lower energy and negative energy out and away from me. Okay. Also, I found it intuitively while I was shopping and gravitated. My guides kind of like pushed me. I was just out of Home Goods, you guys, and they have crystals there. And they had 3 pieces of selenite wrapped in a bow. And I had a headache before going in there. I grabbed it and just started kind of walking around the store. And then my headache was gone. And I was like, I'm taking this home.
Yeah,
There's something about this. And I worked with it on my lives, moving energy out of my space before clearing the space before I would read for the next person. And I got in the habit of, I slept with it. I put it under my pillow. And then my number one, though, that I work with is fluorite. It transfers a lot of EMF since I'm on my computers and cell phones, which is basically electromagnetic frequencies from your cell phones and computers. It's not healthy for us to be on our cell phones. So I give a lot of my EMF to my fluorite.
Yeah.
And then I have a huge clear quartz from Brazil. I think it's from Brazil. And I often wear, I traded them off. I wear amethyst. I noticed that the little pieces, yeah. And sometimes the little pieces get burned out very quickly. And so you'll tend to have a bigger piece to kind of support you.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I can tell when I've gone through.
I have all of them. I just trade off
because my clear quartz earrings will start turning a color, and I'm like, okay, it's time to take these off and really cleanse
they get
them.
hot.
Yeah, they'll get hot. They'll change colors.
Yeah. Let's see. Any more questions? I have.
Are we activated if some of our light language comes through but not well or easily, feeling blocked? What I'm feeling for you is yes, but there needs to be this allowance. One, we don't use the word blocked, okay? They're saying, your team is saying, don't use the word blocked. But 2, when you become activated with a dialect, with whether it be your soul language or another light language, there is a calibration and integration period. So sometimes calibrating can sound like repetitive sounds over and over again. It can be repetitive sounds, which are calibrating your throat and your frequency to that. So really being in a place of allowance and saying, I'm ready to calibrate, and letting it out. Let yourself sound silly. I have one that I was calibrating for a few days, and I literally walked around going wah 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 wah, and like whatever, but allow that to come out. Now, if you're not feeling like it's fully activated, you could always go into a session. I would suggest maybe like the group session, or even like Deb has practice sessions. She has specific sessions for practicing dialects. But for you specifically, I feel that you are activated. It's just a matter of allowing yourself to use it, even if it does feel silly. And let it out.
And one thing that I tell people, it's a surrendering too. You have to be able to let down your guard and surrender. And that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part for people, because they think they're going to be taken over by something, and that's not true. It's not going to happen. We set protective barriers around you. Immediately. Okay. Yes, I do what we call the calibration attunements to different dialects, depending on if you want to be attuned to them. I recommend that for people that are just speaking soul language, like they know they're speaking their own soul language and they want to learn more about different dialects. Yeah. And why? The question is why? Why do we have to learn those? It's because, first of all, when you calibrate to different densities, you become very sensitive to those those beings become part of you or a fractal of you, and also those abilities that they carry within themselves. And then also, you know, when you start to activate people, they want to know what they're speaking right away. That's the first question that they ask me. What am I speaking, Deb? And I'm like, well, you're this. And they're like, what? You know, I'm a dragon, or I'm a fairy, or I'm a bird, or, you know, I'm Lemurian or Pleiadian or Syrian, you know. So, but just remember, when you calibrate to your guides, that it becomes a fractal of you, becomes part of you as well. And you're accessing different densities and attuning to them, which is amazing. It's been an amazing experience. Amazing. Lots of birds here right now.
Oh, thank you for the gifts, everyone. You're so sweet.
Why do you think my feet keep getting a feeling of electricity run through them? It doesn't hurt. That's your connection to your feet chakras, your connection to the earth. Your feet chakras are active. That's a good thing. Mine go crazy when I'm in the bath.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm in water. It's like they're just pulsing. That's a good thing.
Actually, even the past few days with this energy coming through, like it felt like it started at the bottom of my foot and was like tingling all the way up my shins or up my calves, up to my knees, like weird energy just running through the body. Sometimes just acknowledging, okay, this is energy, kind of helps it to streamline a little bit. I have someone saying, Tina, I had a couple small shiny square shapes outside the other day. Was that something or nothing? I'm hearing this is your guides trying to get your attention. So maybe just asking about that. Say, okay, consciously pushing things out and saying, what were those tiny small squares outside the other day? I'm waiting to see if you feel, hear, see, or just suddenly know something.
So, Trish Zalo, I think I'm saying it right. I see lots of dots and squiggly lines, especially if I'm staring at a solid color.
I do too. That's what it looks like when I close my eyes, to be honest. Okay. I really feel like that's clairvoyant.
That's your ability, darling.
Yeah.
This is what we're seeing. Everybody has abilities.
Yeah, it's just, it's because most of us grew up without this being something that was front and center, something that was considered taboo. Like a lot of us have very, very religious families, things like that around us that like, that was not something you talked about. So there wasn't that support in media, right? We didn't know what the signs of these abilities were because they weren't talked about. It was like, shh. There's that weird tarot lady, you know, like it wasn't stuff that was talked about. And so now it's, as Deb said, the programming, it's rewriting the programming. And a lot of the time it really is just about shifting the perspective and letting go of the perception of what you believe those abilities to truly look or feel like. And realizing that everybody experiences them just a little bit differently.
When you do light language, I feel at peace. Oh, I love that.
I love that so much. Morgan, I saw an elephant running outside. Was that one of my guides? I'm hearing yes. A guide with a funny sense of humor, if that means anything to you. But what is ringing in left ear? A download. I'm hearing that ringing in your left ear is an energy that's trying to bringing you a message. That's a guide. For me, the left side is female, so I'm hearing female guide wanting to come in and speak to you.
Okay, I have a question. Lotus Love 888. My hand mudra light language is activated, but speaking mantis only. How come not other dialects? You might need to learn how to. First, I want you to call one particular in. And if that's not working, you might need to be attuned. I suggest the group calibration sessions that I do. If there's one that you want to be attuned to, otherwise I do a private session as well. And we'll attune you to what ones you would like to attune to kickstart that for you. If you're not able to attune to it yourself. You might just need some assistance. You might need a clearing too as well, is what I'm hearing. Because sometimes we have to make room for it energetically, make more room for the new information, the new dialect coding.
Right.
Okay. People don't understand. I'm like, you know how many purging processes I've gone through in order to integrate new dialects? I can't even tell you. Many.
Oh, yeah.
I lost count.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always check in with myself to see if I'm ready to purge again. I just make it a habit of checking in with myself every few days. Am I ready to purge again? And then I just allow those tears to flow, and I allow those emotions to come out. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Right. How do I shut my head up so I can hear? And then followed by, what if we cannot hear our guides? So, for me personally, when I have now, I consider my clairaudience one of my dominant clairs. So for me, what I will do is the first step is acknowledging. Okay. I hear you. And at this point, I get kind of irritated with them because I'll be driving and I'm like, I hear you, but you don't, I'll say, okay, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
I can feel you coming in, whichever side it is, right ear, left ear. I hear you. I can feel you. And I will then in that moment, of course, don't do this while driving, whatever, like take some time and say, I'm consciously pushing any and all energies out of my field. Push everything out. Consciously state you're pushing everything out. And then I will ask if that's not there at that moment. I will ask it to come in. If it is there, I will say, okay, I am consciously connecting to you. I'm acknowledging you. Can you help me dial this in a way that I can understand? And the way that I've got it trained is I will literally kind of like see and feel a radio dial tuning it in. So sometimes it'll get really screechy and worse. Sometimes it'll get quieter. And it's kind of hard to explain, but I go through that in my mind and I start focusing on specifically just that, pushing everything else out, and I will dial it until it comes to a point where it is the most understandable for me. And sometimes it'll turn into a tune or a whisper or a murmur, something that sounds a little bit more like an earthly, right? Someone speaking to me, or sometimes it's soul language. Be patient with yourself and understand that it won't, it might not always come in right away. As we are trying to calibrate to our guides and other energies, they're calibrating to us as well. So it's very difficult for these higher beings to come down to the density to be on Earth. If they're there for your greatest and highest good, they will come back. Something else that I suggest and that I do often is I will say, okay, if you're consciously not able to tune it in that moment, that's okay. Say, this isn't coming in for me in this way. Can you present to me using another one of my clairs, another way that I can understand? So if you don't consider yourself predominantly clairaudient, I'm not saying throw it out, don't use it. But if you're looking for answers, ask. Always feel free to ask. Say, can you show me something? Can I feel something? Or if you're someone that just intuitively knows, ask information to download in. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Yes or no questions. If you can feel yes or no questions in your body, you can use your body as a divination tool. Okay. So there are many different ways. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't hear them right now. I'll never be able to hear, because you can absolutely work on that. But you can also lean on the other clairs that you find more dominant and help to tune that in. So I hope that makes sense.
I have a question. Is clearing and grounding the same? You absolutely can clear as you're grounding. It's not, in a sense, the same thing. Grounding, what it's doing is kind of leveling off and bringing you back down to the earth, but also grounding will take whatever needs to be healed. So yes, it does both.
Yeah.
I suggest doing it often. Okay. And then grounding is not necessarily, just clearing. It's also connecting with everything around you, all that is. Look at in the grass, you see the bugs, like really connect with everything, because we're connected to every single thing, everything that has an energy.
Okay. Someone is saying I need to save up the course. Will it stay online or be repeated? Yes. So this course, both the Starseed Intuitive Awakening course and Deb's Light Language Activator course, they are both always going to be available. They're go at your own pace.
Yeah.
So don't ever feel like, oh my gosh, I'm joining too late or anything like that. You go through the videos at your own time. For both courses, they're going to stay up. You'll be entered into a private Facebook group for practicing. And we'll continue to put up practice events in both.
We're going to be working with you.
Yeah, we're
mentoring you, working with you.
Yes. So especially in the Starseed Intuitive Awakening group, we just scheduled our first group practice for July 14th, but there's going to be more. Yeah. So in both courses, in both groups, there's going to be people pairing up with us, with each other, group practices. So we're going to be working right alongside you.
Yeah. I do a lot of one-on-ones and power of threes in the light language course. So if you're being guided to do more light language, I work a lot with that aspect. I'm trying to help people understand that not only can you speak the soul language, but you can channel as well.
Absolutely.
And it's opening up that channel. Oh boy, I just had a bee land on me.
Oh, it's got
all kinds of. Could be I need to speak a bee, activate the bees for some of you.
What's the name of the
they've been in my awareness.
And how do we join? So both of the courses have a private Facebook group attached, and that will be for course members only. However, if you look in my link tree or even in Deb's, there is the Light Language Awakening group on Facebook, which is for predominantly light language, like codes, soul language. People are singing, dancing, posting their artwork, things like that. And the
There's also lives.
And lives. The Starseed Intuitive Awakening group is more of like a general awakening, channeling, connecting with your gifts sort of group. So there are, if you look in my link tree, there's all kinds of support circles there. But the groups that we're talking about are predominantly for course members, so they will always be private and they'll always be a safe place to practice. Yeah.
So we opened up the Starseed Intuitive Awakening group. It's a public group, but that is for people that when they're coming out of the course, that they have a place to go to set off on a public platform. So the Light Language Awakening group is basically designated for that as well. Again, those are public groups, so keep in mind, it's public, but of course, the groups are for practice and it's totally private. It's only dedicated to course members. So the light language one has been active for a while. So there's quite a few people in there and there's a lot of people practicing. Yeah. The Starseed just kicked off. So these are for you guys, the new people that are wanting to learn more about you will be in that course. And we're just so excited because this is my passion. I love doing this, is helping people to connect with their abilities. So, and empowering them to see that, yes, you do have abilities. And yes, you are not alone and you're supported.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take, we both have our own flavor in the course. Everybody has, like she has her, Tina has her way of doing things. I have my way of doing things. And then we're going to help you to establish your way. And to help better understand how you channel. Creating symbols. We talk about symbols on the body. We talk about, there's chakra information. We talk about transmuting. There's so much in the course, you guys.
We talk about all of the main clairs. And this course too, like I want to say there's like 41 lessons in it already. So like it's pretty well built. But we're going to continue adding to it. So there's going to be practice videos for establishing and really opening up specific clairs. And we're going to cover all of that in practices as well, like in real time with each other on screen together, or, you can always go back and watch it. We go through so much shadow work, like everything.
Yep. We're going to be covering shadow work too.
We're giving you the basics, the basic information, but it really goes more in depth than that. And what we're putting in this course is what has taken us years to figure out. We're putting all of that in there so that it's in one place to kind of help you connect your puzzle pieces a little bit quicker. Because it's like a beginner to intermediate. Yeah,
Beginner,
I know we call it
intermediate
beginner,
to
but it's
advanced.
really not beginner. It definitely it
And
goes.
we're going to help you to
Yeah,
kickstart it going, advancing quickly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
My
we
light
say
language, I
beginner.
have a question. My light language is a phoenix. So does that mean I'm a guide? It's a guide. No, if you're speaking phoenix, then that's you. Yes, that's your dialect,
That's you.
which is a dragon. It's a dragon bird type dialect. Um, I listened to a spider today. It was the greatest wisdom. Yeah, absolutely. I have
Yes.
a Arachne event, you guys, coming up. This is
I love
calibrating
the
to the Arachnes.
Arachne. I work with them all the time.
I know. I have a little one that has been with me, just a regular black spider, small one that I see when I
Oh,
wake up. That has been with me basically forever. I always see it. I've been seeing it for years.
I've always loved spiders, and everybody always thought I was weird because they would be like, "Ah, spider," and I'm like, "Oh, it's cute," and I like wanted to get closer to it to look at it. But I've always been that way with bugs, so it doesn't surprise me that like all these bug dialects surround
Yeah.
me. To be honest.
Is this live recorded? Lots of helpful info. I don't know how to do any of that.
Yes.
Save it.
So,
Do you know how, Tina?
so it will
Okay.
automatically be saved, and maybe either one of us can get it up on YouTube or somewhere, but it will be
Okay.
saved, and we can figure that out.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We'll let you know.
We'll let you know when we figure out where to put it.
So Crafty Teacher says, I highly recommend the activator course. I love it. It comes with Facebook practice. Yep. You know why? You have to practice in order to use your abilities. You have to work on people. You have to
Right.
practice. You're not going to learn it in just a digital download learning. It doesn't
Right.
work that way.
Right.
You have to work
And
with your
the
abilities.
course is like both of them. So it's the videos are digital download, right? But the real true, I think, of course,
Yeah.
there's so much information in those videos, and yeah, there was a lot of time and energy put into it. But the real true course starts when you start
The practice.
opening up, asking questions, practicing. When we get on screen and we start practicing and really working with the tools that we're discussing. That's where the real value comes from.
Thank you. Thank you. How do you know if a light language activation or starseed course is the best choice? If you've had no channeling experience, you might want to start with a starseed course first.
Right.
If you want to open up the channeling abilities. And I really suggest, that's what I started with before soul language. I was channeling first.
Right.
Okay. Hi, everybody's saying hi, Deb. Hi, PJJ. I activated her. Welcome. Stura mahayo mahalahia shakia torono na mahora. Na la la hora moraya. A lot of things have activating in me recently. Yeah, there's a lot of like abilities and things coming online more. So I wanted to talk about something real quick before we get off, Tina. I had a session today and they were bringing up the void. And I don't know if you've ever experienced the void.
That's where I came from.
Hey, well, this was a weird because what was, I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but when you kind of get in stillness and all of a sudden everything gets quiet,
Yeah.
you can't hear anything. It's like for a brief moment, it just gets still. And they were calling it the void. And I go, what do you mean by the void? And they were saying that this particular girl who in the session was actually doing it. And what it does is it stops the timeline so that you can recorrect or align to that frequency, meaning align to the vibration needed. Like even when I'm coming back, I got to kind of get a weird sense or stillness. And I'm like, what is happening? Right. Well, that's what they were explaining. It's almost like it stops time in a sense. And then immediately got that Charmed show where, she stops time and then she kind of figures out what she's going to do. And then it's like that in a sense, but we do it, unconsciously. We do it when we're not realizing that we're doing it. Okay, because the human aspect doesn't understand what we're doing. But I do feel like the more we work with our abilities collectively and raise that consciousness, the more our abilities are going to be coming online. Okay, because
Absolutely.
light language is already spreading like wildfire.
Oh, yeah. It's so beautiful.
Hi, everybody. Oh, Sorayo, welcome. Pashodaria, Shakaya, and Beyo Shomoraya.
Yes, you very well may have come from the void. That would not surprise me whatsoever, because I immediately felt drawn to you. So I like to call the void the no thing between the no thing and the something.
Yeah.
The
What
space
did we
between the
call?
no
What
thing
Star
and the
Wars calls
something.
it? The Force. The Force. Like Star Wars, the Force.
Yeah. Does the void feel like home to you? Yes, to me it does. To me it does.
Mm-hmm.
I connect to the void a lot when I'm bringing in very high frequency energy, and what I see is I'll see it kind of go from that black nothingness to like blinding white. So for me
Yeah.
it feels good. For me it feels home, but there are a lot of other places that feel home as well.
The almost thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Mahalalo. Shatati, Shaka. Barotaradi. Let us do an activation. I feel like there's the energies coming in right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting wrapped up here. I'm gonna. Okay. You want to do like a small collective activation?
Yeah. I want to open the windows in my car really quick because I'm sweating. So it's gonna ding. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just sitting in my car.
Oh la la la. Tutura.
Oh no, it didn't ding. Just kidding. I'm lying. Oh no! There's the radio though.
Okay, they're talking about this is about connecting with your own abilities.
Ooh.
Okay, and they're bringing it to fear. They want to remove fear
Mm-hmm. Get
related to
massive
stepping
healing
further
all the
into
way
learning
up.
more about yourself. Uramo, yeah. Asha, yeah. Okay. I just wanted to go to a private study. Okay, I'm activating Soul Star. Wanarabi, alalahura, maradia, sokora, baradia, shakayo. Asura miarado de dia, shakayo, mahua, wahala, tatia, shaka. Ah. Asanamia satia shokoya mahoya mahora biurana de biusha alala. Anatia narabi haranurabia sosakaradi oshoku alolo hura maharadi anso na yushiala. Terio shawa. Mosari. Lots of happiness. There's a lot of joy coming in. They're so excited for each one of you tuning in. Lots of changes. They're putting in some new contracts right now. Asamaya Sadia Sorority.
Crows are coming.
Malo hiya showa ya sowala ya no ya mohala bi ushapalidi Mosidi Yosapoya Tadibi Osaka. There's fairies are coming in. Okay, I'm moving some stuff out. Shanoya moya ondari urorari bihusha ya samalalo malo mia walo saredi oshapola la horadi si koruto dori alo dai Ushapura yara barari sarori di pipo shapura ya mayo ati sodori Kaupoya mana Ishapura yo darari pi ocha Shapura ya. The fairies are so excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they're reminding you to get outside. Posopi atura morayu kokoraya. Shapura paradi. Sonorati. Let us take your worries, they're saying. Yo shapura. Yono alalo piato toriti. So cheerful. Pasi. My heart is like so open right now. Yeah.
So much excitement.
Nyamoramo marano mahia shaki. Narahira morami karayo no mayomoki. That's my soul song, right? It's helping you to come back home. Mayona moya monani. Yasono no karari. Borona moya ki. Ashakoya. Helping you to remember.
Like that, you can. You can.
Yes, masorayo. Posho.
Yasakua wayanaya saruturma ma pieski at
Yes.
uturmia.
Yaso, balo, badi. Oshomo yaka. Murra. Puriti. Randora borarios. Atia shokoi. Samola la urra moretia sakayo. Ooh, lots of heart activating going on right now. They're sending you love. Yeah.
Love coming.
Mora biako. The birds. Yamo yaso te ashaki. Na la porra mora didi. Mayo barotaramo. Shawayoki. Sarayo. Ooh, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, me too.
Sana Yushi. Sana Yoshi.
Homecoming.
Sorry.
Miyasa kuanaya sharuturma.
More awakening they're talking about. Bisho moya hala.
Coming
Sari.
home.
Oshamo hoa hala hia na hia sitia shoko. Boro rabi oshalala. Niasamarahi. Ani asiri bihushala. Yeah. Talking about how we're shifting consciousness to get out of what's suppressed us for so many years. Asiri sharola. Mahi. Mahaya haridi yoshaki. Oh God, wow, my heart. I'm so much emotion. Yeah, Maya. Oof. Oh, we love you all so much. Thank you for all the hearts. Mia Saraya Sokoraya.
So much love for all of you. Thank you all so much for being here.
Hola.
Working with us.
Hola. Masibi Usha. Alalabi Arania Satia Saki. It was our pleasure. Now remember, we're in this together. Tasuka Purama Hashi. All right, honey. Thank you, Tina.
I love you.
It's always a pleasure. Love you so much.
I love you so much.
Oh my gosh, the love we're getting from everybody.
Oh,
Mahayo.
you're all so amazing.
Mahayo.
Oh.
Okay, somebody is saying at you, tagging you, saying you said we could with a question mark. Were you going to say something and then stopped? No? Okay.
I don't think so. If I was, it came and went. I'm sorry.
We're going to do this again. We'll be back on again. You can always go to Light Language Awakening group or to Starseed Intuitive Awakening, or you can come join the course and get more acquainted with us.
Yeah.
And we'd have the way I personally teach to help remember is I get more intimate with everybody. I really am here to help support you.
Me too.
Okay.
We're really
going to be in there practicing
with you.
Yep. That's what we signed up to do. It's not like, oh, we're going to send you the course and then that's the end of it.
Right.
We're going to be helping you.
It's so much more than what you see. Like if you go to the page, it's so much more than that, because really you're getting dual mentorship as well. We are available if you have questions, if you want to share your experience, all of that, and to practice.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so thankful for this live. It was the first thing I saw when I opened. Oh,
beautiful. Thank you so much for coming. Hi, everyone.
Oh, I love you guys so much. I'm so emotional.
Oh,
all the love. I'm feeling all the love from everybody.
Can they speak it? And you said they could. Yeah, someone was saying, I wish I could speak like this. And I said, if you want to, you can. And that's the truth.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's all about intention, patience, practice, allowance, and sometimes attuning.
Come with us, guys. Come with us. Come join us. We're here to help you, but we're also, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Me too.
I can't wait for everybody. And we're about to get really busy. And there's going to be another shift, I feel like, in another few months. So we're just preparing you guys to get prepared for everything. As your contracts are going to be coming, the people that you'll be helping are going to be coming. So we got to prepare you. So, Masoya. Can you do a dragon? Shoko mahwahoto. Asahakuka. Matushia. Mahuka. Mahatush. There's several different types of dragon dialects. That's just one of them. Hukuma ma tukusha pa pakukama wa tutusha ha ya ma mokukura. They're talking about the heart. That all the dragons. Have you ever heard that term, dragon heart? They're all connected with the heart. That's their power. They sound a little different, yes, but they're very powerful and very loving. A fairy dragon.
I love the Fae dragons because they like to get their face right here because they're like, I'm intense. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're hilarious. Asanaya. I know. I love them all so much. Anyway, everybody can do this. Everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so much fun. It just makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Love you all so much.
Arando.
Thank you all so much for coming. We'll do this again soon.
Yeah. Okay. Love you guys.
Bye.
And one of us will be putting this up on YouTube. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Marayo. Pasokara ya.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.